Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about the Republican shutdown plan getting shut down by Republicans. Okay, so as previously discussed, hard-right House Republicans came up with a plan that would create an impasse likely leading to a government shutdown. Instead of doing their duty and passing a budget, they chose to pursue a Trump-backed plan of a continuing resolution with an additional non-budget provision that was a non-starter in the Senate. The end result would probably be no budget or continuing resolution to keep the funding flowing and the government functioning. In the last video, we did some vote count math and said that just based on those that had publicly or semi-publicly expressed their opposition to the additional provision, Republicans didn't seem to have the votes to move it along. After that video, the problem became even more severe for Speaker Johnson and the Twitter faction. More and more traditional Republicans expressed their disapproval. Trump's dismal performance in the debate probably led even more Republicans to deciding they would break with his plan. No reason to worry about offending the future president if he doesn't look like he'll be the future president. Politics is a dog-eat-dog world. It started with 5 or 6, then hit a dozen or so Republicans who intended to vote against it. The plan at that point had zero chance of passing. Speaker Johnson, not wanting to face defeat on the floor, pulled it and canceled the vote. Speaker Johnson started out doing pretty well at managing the extreme right flank of his already hard right party. But now he appears to be making the same mistakes former Speaker McCarthy did. He appears to be trying to cater to the far-right representatives from safe districts who don't really have to worry about their election chances, since they know they'll get reelected no matter what they do. They push the most extreme packages possible. While that makes for good clicks on Twitter, it doesn't work in electoral politics. Many Republicans can't support the extreme positions and keep their seats in more contested districts. So, Speaker Johnson is actively catering to a group that might end up costing the Republicans the majority. The extreme faction of the Republican Party will never be satisfied, and now the traditional Republicans are upset with his leadership as well. Normal Republicans have started pushing for a clean continuing resolution, which is basically something that will simply keep the government functioning. There's still a push from the far right to press forward with Trump's plan, but it's unclear how a consensus can be built around that idea. Trump posted to a minor social media site, quote, "If Republicans in the House and Senate don't get absolute assurance on election security, they should in no way, shape, or form continue with the continuing resolution on the budget." All caps. Keep in mind, Trump, after years, has still been unable to back up his bizarre claims about the election. The failure to do so after all these years is probably starting to weigh on some Republicans' minds as they wonder if maybe the former president just made it all up because he's a sore loser. Speaker Johnson hasn't completely backed away from the idea, but at this point, the theater is over. If pursuing this strategy was such a good idea, he wouldn't have had a revolt from inside his own party over it. If Republicans push forward with this, the government will likely shut down. And a month before the election, people will be reminded of how dysfunctional the Republican majority in the House has been. At time of recording, polling averages gauging which party voters want in control of Congress put the Democrats ahead by more than a couple points. They have been ahead since early August and have been trending to a wider and wider margin in their favor. A reminder right before the election that the Republican Party is incapable of completing even the most basic funding obligations is probably not something that will reverse the trend. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.